Hello everyone, I am Shikhaja. Today we are going to discuss about the bacteria, its introduction, characteristic and shape and sizes. So in this video we are going to take an overview about the bacteria. Coming to its introduction, as we all know that bacteria is microscopic organism. It means it is very minute in structure. It is very small in structure that we cannot see it from our naked eye. We can see it with the help of microscopic. It is very small. Also, the bacteria is very abundant in nature. It is present everywhere around us, whether it is air, water, soil, or living beings. It is present around everywhere around us. In many exams nowadays, we have been asked about its discovery. So, let us focus once about the discovery. Bacteria was discovered by Leeuwenhoek. Coming to its classification, earlier bacteria was unclassified because for living being there were only two classification, plants or animal. Bacteria doesn't fall in under in any of the categories. Later on, Haeckel proposed the kingdom Protista for unicellular life. So during this time, 1894, bacteria was under kingdom Protista because unicellular organisms were kept under Protista by Haeckel. Later on, Murray and Berge, they placed the bacteria under the kingdom Prokaryote. So what he did, the unicellular bacteria, he kept in, they kept this under the kingdom Prokaryotes. Coming to the general characteristic of the bacteria, it is unicellular and prokaryotic. We have studied that the bacteria is unicellular. It means it is made up of only one cell. Also, it is prokaryotic. So, what is prokaryotic? We all know the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic organism. In prokaryotic, pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. It has primitive type of nucleus. It means if this is cell, here is the nucleus. In what happens in eukaryotic bacteria, eukaryotic organisms, inside the cell, there is nucleus present which is bounded by nuclear membrane. But what happens in prokaryotic organism? This nuclear membrane is not present. Instead, all the content that is present inside the nucleus, it is present only in the cytoplasm. So this is prokaryotic character. So this is very important characteristic of the bacteria, that it is unicellular and prokaryotic. It means the nucleus is of primitive type, means nucleus is not bounded by nuclear membrane and all the content are present inside the cytoplasm only. Also, another character is it is omnipresent. It means it is present everywhere around us. It can survive in any condition, whether it is extreme condition, and also it definitely survives in the normal conditions. So what is extreme condition? It means it can present in very high temperature also. It can present in very low temperature also. It means it can survive in cold temperature, cold condition also, warm condition also. Also it can survive in acidic condition, basic condition, high pressure, low pressure. This bacteria survives in any of the conditions. Even it is extreme, bacteria can survive. Even it is normal, they can survive. That's why we can see bacteria everywhere around us. Actually, we can't see that because it is microscopic, but it is present everywhere around us. Another very important characteristic of the bacteria is cell wall. The cell wall of the bacteria is made up of peptidoglycan. This is unique characteristic because we know that in plants, the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and in fungi, the cell wall is made up of chitin. So in bacteria, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. This is unique characteristic. In other living organism where cell wall is found, peptidoglycan is present only in bacteria. Another characteristic it has no true nucleus, as we know that. That's why we call it prokaryotic. It means nucleus is not bounded by nuclear membrane. Also, in prokaryotic organism, what happened that membrane bound cell organelles are absent. That is endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, everything is mitochondria, and all other membrane bound cell organelle is absent. Reproduction, it reproduces by binary fission. What is binary fission? If there is one bacteria, this is asexual type of mode of reproduction. So this, if it is the parent bacteria, what is happening? It is dividing into two bacteria. One, again it will divide into, one bacteria will divide into two parts. Now this will divide into two parts. So this is happening, that one bacteria is forming two, two is forming four, four will form eight. This is we call binary. Binary means two. So it is dividing into two types of it. Let me clear this first. Coming to the nutrition. So bacteria are autotrophic uh, organism. It means it can make its food itself also. Also, bacteria are heterotrophic. It means bacteria, some bacteria are there heterotrophic as well. That means they don't make their food themselves. They are dependent upon some other compound for their food. They are parasitic. It means for the food they may be dependent upon some other organism. To that we call host. So the bacteria may be dependent upon the host for its food also. And what happens when bacteria take nutrition from the host? Instead, they give disease to the plant. So the parasitic bacteria are disease causing. Also, bacteria can be saprophytic. Saprophytic means the bacteria is dependent upon dead organic matter. So dead and decaying organic matter, bacteria takes food from. If bacteria takes food from the dead or decaying matter, then we call it saprophytic. It can be symbiotic also. If bacteria is taking food from something and in the return it is giving benefit to that, or it is not giving any loss, it, so it is symbiotic. It means both the organisms are getting benefit from it. Coming to the classification of bacteria, as per the Bergey's manual, Bergey we have studied also in the introduction part, that Murray and Bergey has placed bacteria into the kingdom prokaryote. So as per the Bergey's manual, so in Bergey, it's in its manual, they have he has divided the bacteria into two different divisions. One is cyanobacteria. It means photosynthetic. Those bacteria we who make their food themselves, we call it cyanobacteria, and the another is true bacteria. Further, this bacteria has been divided into 9 groups based on the photosynthesis, mobility, and gram staining capability. So, as per Berger manual, bacteria has been divided into two parts, cyanobacteria and true bacteria. True bacteria has been further divided into 19 parts, which will not deal in the details. Only we need to know these two divisions done by the Bergey's manual. Moving to the next slide, size of the bacteria. We know that bacteria is very minute in its structure. It is microscopic. So, its size mostly ranges from 0.5 micrometer to 2 micrometer. It is so small and abundant that 1 gram of soil may contain 5 into 10 to the power 6 bacteria. Largest known bacteria is Thioplysia volutens. This is 18 micrometer in diameter. Coming to the distribution of the bacteria, we have studied it that it is found everywhere, whether it is hot spring, glaciers, deep ocean, saline, lakes, everywhere we can see bacteria. Acidic or alkaline water, everywhere we see the bacteria. Coming to the shapes of the bacteria is found into many different types of shape. It can be bacillus. Bacillus means rod-shaped bacteria. So if bacteria is in this shape, it is rod-like in nature, then it is bacillus bacteria. Bacillus means rod like its shape should be. For example, Bacillus anthracis, Escherichia coli, they both have rod like structure. Now, this bacillus bacteria are of different types. One is monobacillus. We call it monobacillus or simply bacillus. So, if one bacteria is present which is rod shaped in nature, we call it monobacillus. Another is diplobacillus. If two bacteria is present together and both are rod shaped in structure, we call it diplobacillus. Another is streptobacillus. What is streptobacillus? If three or more, it means in chain rod shaped bacteria is present, we call it streptobacillus. Monobacillus single, diplobacillus double bacillus structure, streptobacillus it is present in chain. Another shape of the bacteria is coccus. Coccus means it is spherical in nature. So if the structure is like this in the form of a sphere, it is coccus. If there is one bacteria which is spherical in nature, we call it micrococcus. If two spherical bacteria are present together, we call it diplococcus. If the bacteria are present in the chain, we call it streptococcus. Tetracoccus, it means four cocci bacteria are present. We call it tetracoccus. Staphylococcus, what is staphylococcus? If the spherical bacteria are present in cluster. So here we can see that this is present in cluster. It means it is in group. We call it staphylococcus. What is Sarcina? What happens when spherical bacteria divides in cuboid, all the three planes and it looks like cuboidal. Then we call it Sarcina. So it looks like cube type. Coming to the another shape, the bacteria can be found in spiralium form also. It means spiral shaped. Bacteria is spirally arranged. So we call it rigid and helical. Example is Spirillum volutens. Another shape is Vibrio. It means when we can see the bacteria in comma shaped. The comma shaped bacteria we call it Vibrio. Curved rud we also call it curved rud. Example is very common Vibrio cholerae. Another example is pleomorphic. It means it has variable shapes. It can be irregular environment, variable shapes. It is irregular, environment dependent. It means as per the environment, it changes its shapes. Maybe it is present as only as monobacillus, but because of the environment condition, to survive in that condition, maybe it is present as streptobacillus. So when it changes its shape, we call it pleuromorphic, irregular. To adapt into the environment, it changes its shape. So we call it environment dependent. Example is Anthropobacter species. That's all about the general introduction of the bacteria. We have studied its introduction, characteristic, shape and sizes. In further videos, we will be dealing with the structure of the bacteria, its function, reproduction in detail. Thank you so much.